I'm starting with Layer AI and Scenario, two AI tools that claim to be able to make game assets. You can tell that gaming is their focus because it says so on their website, and they each have Unity plugins. But the main feature they both promise is where you can build your own generators. You give the model reference images, and it uses those to keep the style of the output consistent, obviously important for game assets. These features are behind a paywall, and you'll have plenty of time to think about that while you use the free version and wait for it to do anything. Here is me generating something while I wait well over a minute on both platforms. Not precisely what's advertised. Once you have something, they offer a bunch of editing tools for you to make adjustments in the browser. Nice. These tools initially seem very impressive, but after playing around for a little while, I haven't actually generated anything that I could use. Literally unusable. And they're also very similar to one another, which makes me ask the question, how do they work? It turns out the AI models themselves are really hard to build. So most of these companies are just building on top of existing models. And the cool kid on the block to use is Stable Diffusion, because Stable Diffusion is open source and anyone can build on top of it for free. But if it's open source, why can't we just use it for free? Well, we can. I've been playing around and I've spent about an hour to get it to work, but it is working. You definitely need a little bit of programming experience if you want to do this. But basically, look at this. The code is running on my machine, which means I can potentially tweak anything. It was tricky. It did take some time. Dependencies are hard, etc. How's the output? Not great. Look. It's not very good yet, but I'm going to spend some time tweaking this and see what I can do. I'm putting a lot of usage on this computer. Doesn't normally get a lot. Let's turn on your special fan, little buddy. There we go. Since the code is running on my machine, I can do whatever I want. I had this idea of building a pipeline where I get a list of prompts and I try to get an image to morph from one prompt to the next to the next. Here's me trying to gradually change the season of this image by slowly including more words in the prompt associated with summer. All this to say, I'm just tinkering and I'm not outputting anything of value. Everything is just so fiddly, something you wouldn't expect from a paid product like Adobe Photoshop. These guys, in my opinion, have the coolest demos floating around the internet. Just like in the demos, it feels like it's targeted more towards editing photographs than digital art. This is me playing around with a photo I took, and for a first impression of their tool, it's pretty good. This might be an obvious point, but it's really nice having the entirety of Photoshop at your fingertips while doing this. I can definitely see how valuable this is for photo editing. You can use it much more tastefully than I'm doing here. I'm really not putting much effort in. However, for game assets and the cute digital aesthetic I'm trying to generate here, it's not looking too good. Their model seems to be trained on different data than the others. What is their model? They have their own, Firefly. Trained on Adobe stock images, openly licensed content, and public domain content, Firefly is designed to be safe for commercial use. Safe for commercial use? I'm not sure I've heard any of the other models make that claim. We can see in the class action raised against a few of the other platforms, they are accused of acquiring billions of copyrighted images. If you write a prompt that contains the phrase, "in the style of," and then you name a living, working artist, it's easy to see how you could be taking real money away from them. Not great. You might also be taking their style that they've cultivated and stripping it of their artistic vision, what they want their art to represent in the world. A lot of people don't want their stuff training these models. Surely we have to do something about that. Adobe are part of the Content Authenticity Initiative, which hopes to allow adding "do not train" metadata to online media, which definitely sounds like a step in the right direction. But that doesn't do anything to help what is already being used. Of course, everything's going to be different in 5 years' time. But I'm interested in what exists now, today, without speculation. AI is here and we haven't figured out artist compensation. We're losing the ability to tell what's real online. Everything AI makes is strictly derivative. That's bad, or maybe that's good. Maybe that's exactly why we still need artists. I feel more confused than when I started. I'm just trying to make a game with the latest technology. I don't want to get left behind. There's another problem I haven't described yet. Every single game asset when you make a 2D game has to be from the same camera angle, it has to be the same perspective, and none of the platforms can do that. I've been focusing on what AI enables the computer to do, but maybe I need to focus on what it enables me to do. I mean, yes, I'm hoping that it enables me to make a game, but maybe there's a new way of developing. Maybe there's a new creative process. Maybe there's a new way of sitting down and telling a story. Tomorrow's another day. What about visualizing something that won't be used in the final product? As in, brainstorming. Something that Midjourney really encourages with their interface. You interact with it via chatting in a Discord channel with other people, where you can see what each other's doing. Here it is live right now, for example. The Midjourney experience is vastly different than other tools. Firstly, it strongly encourages parallel working. I find myself writing 6 or 8 similar prompts before the first is even finished, as I explore how various keywords might make a difference. The most notable thing about Midjourney is that everything kinda looks good. It's never exactly what you want, but the output is consistently well put together, and this has a value all of its own. My partner is a children's author and uses Midjourney not for illustrations, but as a sort of imagination extender that helps visualize characters and settings before they exist. I've been trying that too, and it feels nice. Right now, Midjourney just doesn't seem that great at following your prompts exactly and understanding what you mean. Something which is supposed to be a selling point of Dalle 3, the tool built into ChatGPT, though only available on premium subscriptions. This also presents a new workflow, one centered around chatting. It's such a nice idea to have a conversation with a computer. Ask it to rotate something a little bit, remind it about the style you're after. As for Dalle 3, it's not that good. If you have a somewhat concrete view of what you want, it's not going to be able to do that for you. But I do like talking to a computer without any pretense of it being a person. Even the name ChatGPT sounds very computery. I'm excited for this to get better. For now, I don't want to release a game that heavily uses AI art. It won't be long before this is normalized, and I want us to get it right. I want to keep using it during the process though. I found using Midjourney to explore styles and then putting the output of that into Stable Diffusion to generate a large number of variations pretty cool for cobbling together a demo. I'm a big fan of rapid prototyping, and having your workspace look like this really helps the creative process.